Well, the reason that we are talking about this today is because we have Brescia Sabakas with us, and we're talking about your mum, Brescia. Just tell us a little bit about her and what's going on with her at the moment.
Yep, she was first diagnosed with myelofibrosis 9 years ago, and then unfortunately came out of remission last year. So now she's obviously got the disease back again. So we're just trying to find a donor now that can help her to carry on her life as normal.
And I mean, she is just obviously constantly living this on a day-to-day basis. I mean, how is it affecting her ability to live life to any degree of normality?
It's every day is different for her. Some days she can feel absolutely fine, and other days she struggles to walk up the stairs, and she'll spend the day in bed. So it's so difficult for her to live a normal life when she doesn't know how she's going to feel when she wakes up.
And she did, some years ago, she did have a transplant, didn't she? Which I think was from a family member, wasn't it? So is there not a chance to be able to use that same person again?
Yeah, she had her brother, Paul Sellers, was her first donor 9 years ago. And that was successful and was brilliant, and she's lived a happy life since that. But unfortunately, when she fell out of remission last year, they've told her that she can't use my uncle again because she's had an infusion a few months ago, which unfortunately wasn't successful. But if she uses my uncle again, then the risks are too great to use him again, really.
So what we're really appealing for, Ivan, is for anybody who maybe hasn't even thought about being a donor, just to come forward and see if they could be a potential match in this situation.
Yes, and to that end, I mean, I'm running a number of clinics over the next sort of 2 weeks or so. The first one being this Saturday at the Strand Shopping Centre between 11 and 4. We're doing another one at Douglas Rugby Club on Tuesday night between 6 and 9. And then another one will be at the Ramsey Rotary Fun Day, again between 11 and 4 o'clock. We'll be up there to try and encourage people to come along. We've also been very lucky in that Poker Stars have allowed us to come into their premises to try and get some of their staff to join the register. So we're in both of their offices on Tuesday and Wednesday, the 3rd and 4th of July. Because they've got quite a large number of staff who are under 30 and are right in the age group that we really want to hit.
So in this case, it is only under 30s that you'd want to come forward?
Yes, yeah. I mean, there is another agency that does over 30s, and people can join that. It's DKMS is the website, and it's you know, if you are over 30, you can go online and they'll send you a kit to join that website.
I mean, it all sounds incredibly straightforward going through that process of initially finding out whether you could be a possible match. But as you were saying at the beginning of the show, Christy, it's sometimes the unknown that really does put people off. Our very own Howard Kane has done stem cell donation for Anthony Nolan several years ago. I mean, how did that come about?
Yeah, I was on the register for some time. I've been a blood donor, and going way back when, I think when Anthony Nolan started off, they advertised in a lot of the blood donating clinics, and I just signed up. I thought, why not? And giving blood, I may as well sign up for it. And you just signed, I think you were giving blood anyway, so you signed away consent to have a sample taken. And you went on the database when they were starting up. And I heard nothing for quite some time. And then over the years, I then did get a couple of times where they said, we think you might be a potential match. And that you would then give a bit more blood and you go and give a test. And on 2 occasions, nothing happened. They said, oh, thanks very much. You're not actually a match, unfortunately. And the third time, it came up years, over a period of several years. And the third time they said, yes, you are. And then it was very rapid, like Ivan was saying. They said, yeah, you are a match. OK, great, I will do a stem cell donation. I had a district nurse came up to Manx Radio, I think. She came and you got a couple of injections a day, I think, for 4 or 5 days, something like that, I seem to recall. And this basically sort of stimulated your bone marrow to overproduce, so it spills out into the bloodstream, as I understand it. And then when it's about ready, you're sort of... I went down to Holly Street, I think it was, flown over, treated royally, had a lovely night in London, went into the hospital there. They do a final check and make sure that the balance is right and the concentration's right, and then you are they harvest the cells exactly as Ivan was saying. You have one line in one where they sort of take it out, and the other line where the blood goes back in again. And you get fed and watered. And the hardest part is they tell you beforehand, go to the loo now, because it takes 3 or 4 hours, and at least, maybe longer, depending on the speed of things, and you will not be able to get up and go to the loo. Another lady next to me had to use a bedpan, but other than that, it was terrific.
And how much did you find out about who you were donating to?
You know what? I never did. I'd have loved to have known a bit, and I said, yeah, I'd be more than happy. And I seem to recall they said it was definitely a man, and more a sort of middle-aged man, a white man, I think. I think he might have been Middle Eastern. I could be entirely wrong. That's as much as I ever found out. And in a way, I'd like to have known more, but I didn't actually sort of hear more. I didn't press it, to be fair, or actively follow up on it, but it would have been nice to have heard a little bit more, maybe.
And having been through it, you are the perfect person to ask, how did you feel during and after it? Because that's what a lot of people might be anxious about.
Actually, during and after, it was fine, actually. I thought it might have been... you might have been sort of completely out of it. It wasn't during it. It was absolutely okay. It was just like giving blood. So you were just lying back with your sort of propped up on a bed, and you had tea and coffee to hand, and people coming and checking you all the time to make sure everything was all right. And it was just lovely, as long as you don't mind sitting doing nothing, which I can do for days, to be honest. It was perfectly all right. So you just sat there doing not a great deal and being fed and watered and pampered over. So that was actually a lovely experience. And afterwards, I thought my wife had come down as well, and she was thinking she might have to sort of, throw me over her shoulder and carry me down the road. We went for a beer and then went for the theatre. It was terrific. About 11 o'clock that night, I thought, yeah, I'm knackered now. And I did feel tired, but it was 11 o'clock at night. Absolutely fine. In fact, several of us, the girl next to me, my bedpan friend, she said, come on, let's go for a beer to celebrate. And it's exactly like you were saying. You thought, all we've done really is lie on the bed for 4 hours, had a few injections. We could have saved someone's life. How good's that?